metre, half a metre. But I'm doing a bit here. Yeah.
So we're here on the get-in, which is when the set team set up the stage for rope. So what they're doing at the moment is finishing off the final touches. They've spent most of the day flying fabric to kind of give the rope its kind of setting, and so it's a really interesting set. Like traditionally you'd have flats, which are kind of like raised wooden things that you painted. With this, we've essentially chosen to use fabric to essentially suggest the space, and so it's just been a really kind of interesting day of kind of like people pulling together and kind of pulling the set together. And the next steps are going to be running light, testing sound, and then doing what's called a tech rehearsal, where we go essentially through all of the main sound cues and all the main light cues.
So Spike, show me where this desk goes then. And then because then the Caravaggio goes above it.
Yes. If I'm stood here, this should be centralised. So
yeah.
So they're back there. The thing I love and the thing that's been in my head right from the off is having the centralised Caravaggio, which the team are currently struggling to actually like raise. But that's going to hang over the entire set, and it's just going to be a really kind of morbid centrepiece of the entire thing.
We good?
Yeah. So people sat here.
Yeah, I've been that close before.
So,
I know better now, but I've never.
That's fine, because we need the space we have back there. We need it. So
I've been that close. And they don't generally come on, and they do sit on the thing. But also, you sit back here. I was sitting forward then, wasn't I? Because there's stuff on the chair.
We're a community arts group, and essentially people have given up their Monday to all like work together on this. So you've had people volunteering to kind of like bring furniture up, you've had people volunteering to like hang the fabric, you've had people volunteering to kind of get props ready, you've had people volunteering to kind of just make sure that every little bit of the kind of process is working. And it's really, really nice seeing everyone kind of chip in and kind of seeing not only the wider LEC community, but also like the little micro communities that get created and kind of like how they all work together as little cohesive units. Closer is going to help as well. And I think it's going to be really nice for everyone who's spent the last 3 months to see their hard work pay off. But it's also a bit melancholy. Like the process of community theatre is that you do this in your free time, and fundamentally you're spending 6 hours a week making a thing with your friends. And so when that process ends, those like families do disperse, and maybe 4 or 5 or 6 months later, you'll end up kind of working with those people again. But it is that kind of feeling of like, you almost go into a bit of a mourning period, really, but it's just part of the process.
Actually, assemble this desk.
Yeah, so it needs to go here. Wait until they got the ladder out of the way. I know it needs to go.
Spike and I met up to discuss what he wanted to do for the set, and he had lots of crazy ideas, and I had to pin him into just a couple of ideas, and then we developed that even further with a set designer. And today we've now brought everything together, all the ideas, and we decided to not have any flats in the background. We decided to have fabric instead to create an illusion of a room. And we wanted to hang various bits of windows and skylights and pictures to really make it quite spooky and eerie.
Because they're all old enough technically, but they are new versions. They're all quite colourful, which I thought was nice, and match.
Oh, I like the red one. Does the red one say anything on it?
The Iliad, the Odyssey.
That's a shame.
This has been the first time I've been a set lead, and I was inspired to be a set lead because of working so closely with the set designer for my last play, which I directed, called Scarborough. That was a really realistic set where I had a box set and painted the walls and various things. And this time I really wanted to bring out my creative juices and try something different and be a set lead. And it's definitely a very different experience than directing. You have your own little bit, and I don't have to worry about any of the actors, and instead I could just focus on making the furniture and the window and various things just look as effective as possible. It's a really different skill, but very enjoyable.
Oh, I think this is astounding. They've done such an amazing job of getting this pulled together in like 8 hours, essentially. I mean, they've been thinking about this for weeks, but yeah, just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Like just the colours, the theming, how everything feels like it just holds together and hangs together. Nothing in the set feels wrong. So it's just I'm so pleased. I'm so proud of Enya. I'm so proud of Hannah. I'm so proud of Lydia. They've done amazing. So yeah. And like big thanks to Steve as well for like essentially spending time and giving us a door. So yeah, it's been great. I'm so proud of everyone involved. Like Lizzie and Lee, they've just made the central pair of like Granillo and Brandon just something really, really powerful. Lizzie's Brandon is just this regal, terrifying, kind of complicated, horrible, lovable brat of a thing, and it's just a, you know, it's just pure nature. It's fantastic. She is just astounding in it, and it's just amazing seeing her come on, you know, rise to that occasion. Lee's just diligently done the work from day one, piece by piece by piece, just adding and adding and adding to Granillo and adding stuff to this character who's quite thinly written to make him something that's just so dynamic and so electric that you can't take your eyes off of him. The newbies, Kylie and Ryan, they've not really acted before, and they've just both taken it on so well. Like Kylie's comic timing is so good. Like she's got so much presence, and she's doing quite a hard role as Mrs. Debenham. And Ryan's just hilarious. Like every single time he plays Sabo, I just laugh each time. He's just got so many wonderful mannerisms and really thought about what the character means. So that's been like a really nice thing to see him just really get to grips with it. So Francesca, this is like her first time with the Leeds Arts Centre, and really kind of like it's been like catching lightning. She is such a phenomenal talent, and like her Layla is just something that's magnetic, and it's kind of privileged just to have her in this show because she's going to go on to do such amazing things that kind of like, I think it's just one of those sneaky little kind of joys of the show is having her in it. Jacob Hartley is just so good as Raglan. He's got such a great comic energy, and he's a character who really was impacted quite negatively by the switch of Brandon to a female. It kind of switches a lot of his dynamics, and he's just adapted to that so well and just managed to create something that's funny and sweet, and it's, you know, he's just a really talented actor, so it's been amazing seeing him kind of do what he does. I mean, Ben's just like a really close friend, and so he's a very talented actor, and it was really, really nice getting him kind of like onto this. He kind of auditioned for another role, and it was a really beautiful performance, really empathic, really emotional, really sweet, and it was just wrong for the version of Rope we were in. But I needed someone who was just inherently kind to play Sir Johnston, and so we did kind of like an ad hoc audition, and he was just amazing, and it's been astounding watching him just get this emotional connection and just break your heart rehearsal after rehearsal after rehearsal, and I think it's just a really powerful piece of work, and it's just been lovely having him behind the scenes as well. Just he's a really positive force. Brian is just I collaborated with Brian on God of Carnage, and so he's someone I've been able to bounce ideas around with quite a lot, and kind of like it's been a very nice process with Brian in terms of it's been quite aggressive's the wrong word, but we've kind of had like lots of very pointed intellectual discussions about what the direction of Cadell is, and it's been really fun. It's been a really fun process, and I think Cadell is like 90% Brian and 10% kind of like my little bit of spice added into it, and it's like it's a nice compromise, and there's just such a power and ferocity and sadness to Brian's Cadell that like I am just so proud of him because it is just a genuinely stunning performance.
Okay, so we've done our third
Fifth bow's happened.
Okay.
And then
And Ryan.
awkward smiles, awkward smiles.
Smile and wish. And then they'll still be going, so I gotta go back out.
And then rope 2.
After we all piss off, and then someone is definitely going.